Hey guys, Brittleman 945 here. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I am going to be making a tier list of Smash Bros. Characters based on how fun they are to watch. Um, so yeah, let's get into it. And once again, reminder, I am still getting over the flu, so that's why my voice sounds um like crap a little bit. Um, okay. Let's start Banjo. I think Banjo gets boring pretty fast. I mean, there isn't really much to him when you're watching him. Yeah, he's pretty simple. He gets pretty boring. Bowser is very cool. I'm gonna reserve my favorites to be kind of exclusive, but Bowser might go up there by the end. I think Bowser combos are very, very cool, very, very simple, very clean, very satisfying. Um, Bayonetta, uh, hmm. Bayonetta's tricky because um there's I think Bayonetta I have to put in the middle because there are certain like Bayonetta matches that I'll watch that I think are really cool, and then other ones that actually look like cancer. So I think it has to balance out the middle of the road. Uh, Bowser Jr. I think Bowser Jr. can be pretty entertaining. I think if you're watching a pretty good player, then I think that they can really pull out some actually insane stuff. And always I feel like the combos that Bowser Jr. pulls out really look super wacky. Uh, Byleth, I think Byleth is pretty entertaining. Um, for kind of the same reason, I think the combos that Byleth can put out are pretty wacky. Captain Falcon is one of my favorites to watch in the whole game, and that should not be a surprise to anybody. Captain Falcon is just the most hype character ever. I don't care if that's like generic as hell. Uh, I love watching Captain Falcon. Uh, Braum. I think Braum is very cool. I'll probably put Roy in the same place, but like I think his combos and the way he does things, and also what's actually cool about Crom is like seeing him use his uppy in cool ways because not very good, and also like do clutch recoveries with it because it's not good, makes it extra hype. Cloud is also very cool, very simple to me, but very, very cool. Uh, Horin, I think, is also very cool. Um, I think just the uniqueness of Corrin's play style, just makes it extremely fun to watch. Uh, I'll use this for Samus as well. I think Samus is pretty cool. Um, I think if as long as you're watching the right kind, like not campy online bull crap, but like a decent player that knows how to take advantage of Samus's combos and zoning tools, it makes Samus actually pretty cool to watch. Uh, let's see. Dark Pit, meh, to be honest. I don't think I think both the pits are kind of generic to be honest. I think Diddy Kong is very cool. Uh, I think that you see clips of Week and whatnot. I don't really follow competitive Smash anymore, but I know his name. You see some clips of him doing some stuff, and it's insane. I don't know any other Diddy Kongs to be honest, but you see him doing some cool stuff. Uh, he makes Diddy Kong look insanely broken, and I think it just looks cool. Donkey Kong is meh. I think Donkey Kong used to be cool, but I feel like I've just seen too much Donkey Kong to where it's just become kind of generic. Dr. Mario is just less interesting Mario, and it gets boring pretty quickly, to be honest. Uh, Not fun. Um, Meh. Fun doesn't really do much for me, to be honest, but it's also I don't really find it boring, but it's just meh. Falco is pretty cool. I think the long ways that Falco can string together combos is actually kind of cool. Fox I just think is less interesting. I don't think his combos are as cool, to be honest with you. Um, Now Ganondorf for the same exact for very similar reasoning to Captain Falcon is another favorite of mine because he is very cool. He's very silly, and I think more so than Captain Falcon is what makes him hype for me is because he's so ridiculous and so obviously bad that when he ends up winning, it just it looks awesome. Now, Greninja. I don't really see much for Ninja, so I'm gonna put him in meh because it doesn't really do much for me. Now Hero is very cool simply because of the fact there is so much RNG to Hero's move set that kind of anything can happen. When you're watching a Hero match, and I think that unpredictability makes it extremely entertaining. Uh, Ice climbers, I don't know. That gets kind of boring for me. I don't know. I feel like all the ice climber combos I see are basically the same. Uh, I think is just like a less interesting version of Crom, to be so real, or like less interesting version of Byleth. I think Incineroar is very cool. I think all the crazy combos and the insane high revenge damage that Incineroar players can get makes it very interesting because even if Incineroar is at an obvious matchup disadvantage, it's never really that obvious because Incineroar is quite an unpredictable character. I'm not going to DM, but I'm not worry about that right now. Um, Inkling, Inkling used to be cool, but now it's just kind of me. Isabel, Isabel, I consider giving actual cancer, but to be honest, Isabel just gets boring. I feel like there's just not that many interesting characters to watch. There's way more to watch compared to Jigglypuff. Um, Actually, I wasn't gonna do the Pokemon individually, but I think I can rank it differently than the Pokemon trainer. Charizard is pretty entertaining, but nothing crazy because of the standard heavy thing. Venusaur doesn't really do much for me. Let's see. Ooh, Joker. Joker's pretty cool. I think Joker has a cool moveset, fun series of combos. I think the coolest part about Joker is seeing the way it seems like characters, seeing players that don't 100% rely on Arsene in order to win. Now, Jigglypuff is actual cancer. Jigglypuff is awful to watch. Might be my least favorite character in the entire game to watch because every single Jigglypuff combo I ever see feels exactly the fucking same, and it is just awful. It's just honestly horrendous. Um, and like all of her moves are just very boring, and I fucking hate Jigglypuff. Actual cancer to watch. Uh, Kazuya. Kazuya is an interesting one. I think Kazuya is pretty cool. I think he's probably my favorite to watch out of all the FGC characters. Um, uh, and but mostly just because I think his like combos and demon mode and like his general aura make him kind of a little bit cooler than the other ones. And but I also think Ken is pretty cool. For kind of similar reasons as Kazuya. Uh, Community is cool, and same thing with Cable. These two are cool because they're far from the best characters, but like people who play them normally are like really damn good at them, and watching that is really entertaining because it's just funny to see them outplay characters that are much better than them. Uh, Kirby doesn't really do much for me, but I don't hate him either. Link, uh, I used to think that Link was kind of cool, but like the remote bombs, honestly, Link kind of gets boring pretty quickly, actually, just because like the whole gameplay loop with the bombs and everything like that, it honestly gets pretty stale pretty quickly. Little Mac is very cool. Little Mac is, in my opinion, like the best kind of underdog character, along with Ganondorf. Because every time I see a Little Mac, fight, I'm like, how the fuck do they even do that with a character that I have known that I feel like I know should be such like really really bad. Lucario, ooh, Lucario, I don't think it's quite enough to go down there, but Lucario gets pretty boring pretty fast. Lucario like only relies on the aura mechanic, and a lot of his other moves are pretty damn generic. Lucas is actual cancer. The only thing, and I don't only do this out of order, but like to compare these two, the only reason Ness isn't down here is because I've seen some people do kind of cool combos, but like Lucas is just Lucas is even worse because not only does he have a PK Fire move, he also has something that's arguably even worse, which is PK Freeze. And it is just, it's so annoying to watch. Lucina is pretty cool. I think Lucina is a little bit generic, but also I like the Sword Fighter characters. I think Luigi and Mario are very cool characters to watch. I think Mario has very fun combos, and Luigi has a lot of unique gimmicks that make his combos just as cool to watch. On Earth is. Hmm. I think Marth probably goes with Lucina. Because the Temperance thing does make him mildly interesting, but I don't think he's as interesting as Lucina is. Mega Man doesn't really do much for me. He's just meh. Meta Knight, I think, is very cool. And same thing with you two. I think both of these are quite unique characters that I don't see get played much. But both of them, like, when you have a really, really good player that hits all the moves and combos, I think it is supremely cool. Me Brawler, I think his combos are very satisfying. Me Gunner gets extremely boring very fast because it is just a much, much less interesting version of Samus gameplay. And me Swordfire probably lands in the middle between them. He doesn't really do much for me. Min Min, uh, I'll see, meh. Uh, Game and Watch is just fucking hilarious. Anything Game and Watch does is just really funny. That's why I love playing this Game and Watch, and that's also why I love like watching Game and Watch. It's just really cool. Um, I think I'll do the same thing I did with the Pokemon here. To kind of just separate them like this. Pyra on her own is pretty cool, and same thing with Mithra. The two of them together, I think, are very cool. Uh, Man, okay. This is gonna sound possibly insane, but Pac-Man is one of my favorite characters to watch in the whole game. Um, Simply because, like, in my mind, like, Pac-Man combos are the ones that when I see it, I literally think, how the fuck did that even happen? Like, it just looks like the most insane fucking combos, and because of that, I think they are so cool. I think Pac-Man is always insane to watch, and I think the best Pac-Man players just know how to make him so busted. Uh, Palutena is incredibly generic and gets very boring very fast. Uh, Heat to be so real is actual cancer. Um, she's extremely boring and her entire move set just it gives me annoyances as if I'm playing against the Peach, which is why it's just actual cancer. Uh, Olimar, I don't know why you would ever actually voluntarily play Olimar, but Olimar is decently entertaining because he has he can do some semi cool Pikmin combos. Pichu I think is pretty entertaining, and same thing with Pikachu. I think their whole combos and moveset is kind of cool. I think Piranha Plant is kind of cool just because he's a very, very goofy character. Pit goes with Dark Pit for the same criteria I mentioned before. Uh, Pokemon Trainer is honestly another favorite of mine to watch. Because I think obviously like I think Squirtle is the last one here. I put Squirtle here, but like even though each individual Pokemon might rank that way to watch, I think Pokemon Trainer goes up there because the utilization of all three Pokemon in one fight and the way that a player will like switch between them and whatnot, I think that makes it super, super freaking cool. And it's like it's so interesting to watch like the research management of three different characters by a really skilled Pokemon trainer player. The Belmonts to me get very boring very fast. Um, I think that whole idea, I don't know, it just doesn't. I don't think any of the stuff they do ever looks that interesting. I've only ever seen like one Belmont player that actually has combos that look cool. And beyond that, it just doesn't ever look interesting. Ridley, I think, is pretty cool because he's a niche mid-tier character that's like interesting to see someone do well with him. Uh, Rob, I think is pretty cool. Uh, I think he's got a ton of interesting tools that it's fun to see someone manage. Robin, I think, is very cool because I think his magic just makes him so unique, that it just makes him fun to watch. Um, let's see. Rosalina, hmm, Rosalina is pretty damn boring, to be honest. Rosalina, I feel like Rosalina just doesn't have a lot to her, and as a result, this does not make for a particularly interesting gameplay. Uh, Roy goes right with Crom for the reasons I mentioned earlier. Uh, Ryu goes with Ken and Kazuya for the same exact reasons. I'll go ahead and lump Terry in there. Uh, Sephiroth. Sephiroth is another favorite of mine to watch, to be honest. I think everything about Sephiroth, both to play as and to watch, is so insanely cool. Uh, which I actually think is very cool because Sheik is a very, very underrated character, and her moves are very unique and cool. And if someone uses it right, it can be a very fun match to watch, especially if Sheik is at a matchup disadvantage. Shulk, uh, Shulk doesn't really do anything for me to be honest, but I don't hate him either. Uh, Snake. I think Snake can be kind of cool. Only by an extremely skilled player, though. Otherwise, I think Snake can be kind of boring, but like the right kind of player, I think Snake is actually really cool. Sonic, this should be no surprise. Sonic is actual cancer. I'm not going to explain that one. Sora, Sora to me just gets really boring really fast because uh I like the idea, but I don't feel like there's a lot of, I guess, creativity with what Sora can do. Uh, that is comparatively to Steve. Steve is quite possibly the most creative character in the whole game because of all the stuff he can do is just insane, and it's just really, really fun to watch. On top of the whole like resource management aspect, honestly, the more I think about it, I think Steve is up here with my favorite to watch. I just think that Steve is really cool. Now I think Toon is probably the most interesting of the links, but that still leaves him in the meh tier. Villager, perfectly middle of the road for me. Wario is honestly another one of my favorites to watch. I think that Wario is incredibly cool. And I think the WAF combos just are super funny, super wacky, and just super fun. Uh, now Wii Fit. Wii Fit is I actually think Wii Fit is very cool. I think Wii Fit has such a weird move set that seeing it all like work together in harmony just looks very cool. Wolf is another favorite of mine to watch. I just think his combos and everything look really cool, and I think a highly skilled Wolf player just looks awesome. Uh, Yoshi, I'm not gonna say actual cancer, but Yoshi's basically just button mashing, and it gets pretty boring pretty damn fast. Same thing with Young Link. He's by far the least interesting of the links, I feel like. Zelda is just meh for me because she has some cool moves and some very uncool moves as well. And Zero Suit I find pretty damn boring, to be honest. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm gonna elevate two from this tier to kind of make my top 10 up here in terms of favorites, and I think I'm gonna move up Game and Watch, and I'm gonna move up Bowser. I'm actually not gonna order them because I'm too lazy, but yeah, I do think that like these two right here are probably my top two. Like, I'll go this far in terms of ordering them. I think like uh these three right here is like definitive order top three. Um, and yeah, that is probably going to do it for this tier list. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you later. Bye.